Today we're going to look at refraction. And first of all, what is refraction? Refraction is the bending of light when it travels from one material into another in which it has a different velocity. Now we are talking about light currently, and light has a speed or velocity of 3 times 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. And this is in a vacuum. Now in air it's very close to that speed, so we're going to assume it's that in normal air as well for these exercises. Now the frequency of light stays constant, does not matter which medium or material it goes through. That is determined by the source. So as long as it is light, the frequency will remain the same. So when it travels through a more optically dense medium, it will slow down. Like in this case, it travels from air into a more optically dense medium like glass or perspex. So inside this perspex block, the speed of light is slower. But when it exits the block again, it will increase in velocity again. Now you can see that this light beam entered the block exactly perpendicular. When this happens, it will not refract in any direction, but it will still slow down. But the moment a light beam enters another medium at an angle, as you can see with this example, it will, if it goes from a optically less dense to an optically more dense medium, it will be refracted and it will bend towards the normal. Now the normal again is perpendicular to the surface area. Now over here it exits this block, so at this point, at this boundary, it goes from an optically more dense to a less dense medium. So in that case, it will refract away from the normal. So just like with reflection, this is the incident ray for this boundary, and this is the angle of incidence. And for this boundary, this is the refracted ray, and that would be the angle of refraction. And for this boundary, that angle over there is the angle of incidence, and then it's being refracted again, and this is the emerging ray, and it will have an angle of refraction over there as well. In an example like this, these two will be equal to each other, and you can clearly see that those are alternating angles. Okay, hope that makes sense. It is important to also note that it won't always be a perspex block like this. Sometimes it will be a triangle or a round surface or anything like that. So please don't make any specific assumptions. But in this scenario, you can see they are equal. I want you to understand as well that these boundaries, those are not perfect. In other words, not all the light that enters at this boundary will go into the medium, and not all of the light will exit the medium. So that's why you will see the intensity of the emerging light beam would be less than the one entering. So right over here, some of this light will reflect. And right over here at this boundary, some of this light will also reflect. So take note of that.